What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. As you guys already know, this is more so a BMW channel, but we do work on other cars. So today we've got a Ford F150 pickup here in the garage and we're going to be installing a dash cam. I figured this would be a helpful video for those of you that are looking to add a dash cam to your Ford pickup truck. This here is a 2015 F150 quad cab, as you can see, and we're going to be adding a dash cam from Blackbox My Car. This is one of the top of the line dash cams on the market today. As you can see, we've got a BlackVue DR900S, which is a 2-channel dash cam, 4K quality. Nice little box. This is what the packaging looks like. So again, 2-channel front and rear. Additionally, we are going to be installing a BlackVue PowerMagic Ultra battery. This is the B124X. So this will allow us to actually have full monitoring at all times, even when the vehicle's off. So this is a battery pack. That's what that looks like. So let's get to it. Quick shout out to Blackbox My Car. If you guys have been following along on the channel, Blackbox My Car is actually a sponsor of mine, and we did an install video on my 335i for a Thinkware FA200 dash cam. So definitely go check out that video. I will put a link in the description below. If you're looking to purchase this particular dash cam, just go to blackboxmycar.com and look up these models. So the cool thing about this dash cam, like I said, it's got a battery pack. This was an additional charge, but the great thing is, as you can see here, it's gonna increase our parking recording by up to 45 hours, and you can actually double stack, triple stack batteries if you want to add more later on. Again, if you guys are looking to purchase a dash cam, check out Blackbox My Car. They've got a variety of different brands and models and pricing, so definitely go check it out. I'll also put a discount code in the description below if you want to take advantage of that. All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and open up our packages here. As you can see, this has never been opened before, brand new. Cut that. Take a look and see what we got inside of here. So this is for the battery pack. Got a nice big wiring harness, some wire taps, which is going to be handy. We can also, so we have the option to hardwire, which is what we're going to be doing, or you have the option to use the cigarette outlet. Additionally, inside of here is the actual battery itself. So here's what the battery pack looks like. Just wanted to show you the connections that are here on the side. So there's room here for an expansion. So if you want to add additional batteries for additional recording life, we can add that later on. This is for the actual dash cam to plug in. There's a USB here, and then there's also a little switch here that says cigarette off or hardwire. So we're gonna go ahead and move this to the hardwire just to get it going, and then there's also a DC in for power. And this is Bluetooth enabled as well. So we're actually gonna be able to download an app on our mobile device and actually monitor what's going on the actual dash cam. So the other items that come with the battery pack, again, here's the hardwire. So this connection right there will plug into the hardwire on the actual battery pack. Again, we've got the option to do the cigarette outlet. This is going to be the outlet for the actual dash cam itself. And we've got some wire taps and some additional fuses. Also comes with a user manual here with some information. So we might be utilizing this as well. All right, now we're going to go ahead and open up the dash cam itself. Again, this is the DR900S 2-channel 4K. So this is going to be the front dash cam. It's a little bit larger than the dash cams I've worked with in the past, but this is top of the line stuff, so should be really, really nice quality. As you can see, there's also Wi-Fi, and this will require a micro SD card as well. The connections on the back here, you can see there's the DC in for the power. This looks to be a power button, and then this is for the rear channel as well. It does have the ability to rotate up and down just like that. So once it's mounted on the glass on the windshield, we can actually change the angle, the viewing angle. This here is the rear camera, same kind of thing. Once it gets mounted to the windshield, we also have the ability to swivel as well. And then there's just the one video output right there. Additionally, inside of the box, we've got a quick start guide, and then there are also some accessories in here as well. If we weren't utilizing the battery pack, we can actually plug this right into our cigarette lighter. This is going to be the wiring for wiring the front camera to the rear camera, and we'll show you how to do that. It also comes with a nice little trim tool in here. And there are also some mounting clips, and it does come with a micro SD card as well. It's gonna be a 32 gigabyte micro SD. It also comes with this micro SD USB that you can actually plug into your computer. So that way you can pull it off of here, put it in here, plug it into the computer, and look at your footage. So we're gonna go ahead and take this 32 gig micro SD card out of here, and we're actually gonna put this in the dash cam itself while we have it here. So if you look on the side of the front camera, you'll actually see this little, the words here, it says open. So you want to grab this and kind of pull it up a little bit, and it should swing out. And there is the little port. This only goes in one direction, so put it on in there until it clicks in, and then we can go ahead and close this up. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is figure out where we want to mount this front dash cam. So for mounting the front camera, I think the best option is going to be to put it right here below the rearview mirror. That way we've got great even coverage all the way across. We've got a good viewing angle. We could put it up here as well. I think you know, it's going to be better right here. It might be a little bit of an adjustment to get used to looking at this object right here, but it's pretty small and slick, so I don't think it's going to be a problem if we just put it like that. And I'm going to try to center up the center this up to the point where the actual lens itself is in the middle, dead center. So it'll probably sit off centered like that. That way the lens is in the middle of the windshield itself. The good thing is, again, we can rotate this thing. There's actually a lock button on here, so if you push that down, you can actually turn this whole thing. And if you want to take this out of the car completely, say you're going somewhere and maybe it's not a safe neighborhood and you don't want to have the dash cam up on the windscreen, you can actually push this, hold it down, and pull this out and store this. So just some options there. But again, I think we're going to put it here. We should have enough slack that if we wanted to move this at a later point, we could put it here. This, I think, would be another good option, or even on this side. That way it's completely out of the way. We just don't want to put it on the dot matrix itself, and because we need to have good viewing angle for the lens. Okay, so we're going to put this right here, I think. That way it's pretty much dead center, and it's up as high as it will go. The only thing I need to consider is the wiring comes out of this side, so we're gonna have to like loop it this way and back up into this. We're gonna hide the wire in this plastic piece here, and then run it up down the headliner, down the passenger side. So need to keep that in mind, but we can tidy up the wiring later. I think this is gonna be our best bet. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna clean this part of the windshield first, just using a window towel and some invisible glass. So just want to make sure you got the area cleaned up. We're going to get more fingerprints on it later, so just want to make sure we've got some good adhesion for the 3M tape that's on the back of the dash cam. Okay, looks pretty good. So now we're going to go ahead and take this. I've already kind of set my angle here, but we can adjust that later as well. That's pretty good. So on the back side here, we're just going to pull off this double-sided tape. Go ahead and mount it. Okay, so we've got it mounted like that. I just want to hold it here for about 30 seconds. Okay, so now we need to take the wire that came with the actual dash cam. This is the one that comes with the cigarette lighter, and then this is the connection that comes with the battery pack. What we're going to do is actually plug this in here. It just goes in like that, and then you can actually tighten it down so that it doesn't come out. So it's nice and tight. So this we're going to run to the battery pack. This we're going to run to the actual camera. Now that we've got the wire unraveled, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to tuck this wire up behind this plastic piece and run it all the way down the headliner, down the passenger side. So just need to give myself a little bit of extra slack, and I'm going to tuck this wire in here. See if I can do this without taking this whole piece off. So the little trim tool that they give you might actually come in handy for this, for wire maintenance. I'll try to tuck this in here. As you can see, I've got the wire tucked in here. I was able to just kind of pull this plastic back a little bit and run the wire up, and I've got it sticking out here at the headliner. One other thing I want to mention, while you're doing this and while you're right here, you might as well also run the wire that goes for the rear channel, since both these wires are going to come out of this main front dash cam. So as you can see, again, there's this little copper port here. This is for the rear camera. So I've got our wiring here, and it will indicate on the wire which side goes where. This section here, this side of the wire has an F on it for front, and then the other side has a R for rear. So we're gonna go ahead and also wire this as well, run the wire, same exact path that we're going with the current wire. That way we can plug them both in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Same path. So as you can see, I'm just kind of tucking the wire up in there. Just leave yourself a little bit of extra slack. All right, at this point you can see that I've got the wires tucked up in there. They're following the same path, and then they're going up into the headliner. They're all tucked up in here, and then they pop out. They pop out right here on the A-pillar. For the rear channel wire, we're gonna run this down this little piece here, the top of the A-pillar, and then we're gonna run it along this weather stripping for the door. So if you kind of pull this back, you can see where the headliner is. We're gonna actually pull the wire all the way through and tuck it underneath the headliner here and run it all the way across here. Same thing, we'll run it, tuck it behind this B-pillar piece, and then tuck it up against the headliner all the way back into the center. Now for the front channel, we're actually gonna run this down the A-pillar and then down through the dash and down here to the actual fuse box. It's actually really nice that black box my car gives you this little trim tool, because it's allowing me to kind of push this up behind this weather stripping and also tuck it up against the headliner. So I can kind of fish it through, but also tuck it up. Pretty simple stuff. Looks good. You'll never know that it's even there. All right, so now we're at this point here, we can actually continue tucking the wire. Again, use your trim tool. All right, now we're working here in the back seat, same thing. Tuck it up. A lot of this is just wire maintenance. It's kind of the tricky part. Okay, continue tucking. Pretty simple. Now, if you don't, for some reason, have one of these, you could use a small flathead screwdriver or even a credit card, something to tuck the wire. Alright, so now that we're here in the back, I do want to note one thing. So if you're doing this in your Ford pickup truck, or any pickup truck for that matter, you'll probably have a sliding glass window back here. This one is automatic, so at the push of a button, it will actually slide to the right. So we don't want to put the actual camera on this window or this window. I mean, we could put it here, but with the wire moving back and forth, that's just not a good idea. So what we're going to be forced to do is actually put the camera on the far right window. At this point, we can go ahead and mount the rear camera. Just keep in mind that the wire is going to be on this side, so we need to loop the wire this direction. So again, we need to put it on this window because of the sliding glass, and then be mindful of your defrosting lines back here. So I'm pretty much going to, and then this thing does swivel as well. The good thing is this is a flat piece of glass, so we should be able to put it just like that, and we should be good to go. I'll leave it just like that. Hold it on there for a couple seconds, and then we can route our wire to it. So I had quite a bit of extra slack, so what I did was I zip tied it and tucked it up here, top of the headliner here. Just some wire maintenance, and then again, poke our wire out here just a little bit, plug it in the video out on the side here until it clicks in, and that's that. That one's good to go. Okay, now we're gonna continue down in the front. it's pretty difficult to run the wire down the A-pillar this direction and into the dash. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to follow the same path and run it down the weather stripping over here and then tap into the fuse box. So again, run your wire, make sure it's all clean, organized, and now we can work our way downward. Alright, so at this point I've got the wire run all the way to here. What we're going to do is actually pull up this little kick panel. You just kind of need to grab it, pull it up. You won't break anything, you just got to use some force. Just like that. Now, we don't need to take this completely off, but we can actually see in here now. So now that we've got access to this, we actually can pull this panel off, which has the fuse box behind it. So if you grab it from the back here, give it a little tug, door comes off just like that. So I'll show you here in a minute, but basically we're going to continue running this wire down here, tuck it behind the plastics as much as possible. We don't need to remove this piece, we just need to get the wire to sit back behind all of this. And then when we get to here, continue routing the wire. And then you can see I'm tucking it underneath here now. So it's underneath this piece, and now I can push my wire under the carpet. Don't forget to use your trim tool if need be. Tuck your wire under and run it to the fuse box. So just to show you guys how I pulled the fuse box off, just take your hand, put it back behind this little notch here, and pull. Let's see here. Give it a little tug, and then the whole thing will pop out. And so there's these little cutouts, one there, and on the door you can see there's one here and one here. So that's how you put it back in. So now that we have access to the fuse box, you can see we've got a lot of extra wire here left. We need to tap into an actual fuse, and so I'll bring it back a little further. You can actually see, hopefully, you can actually see the fuses all right here. So we need to find a fuse that has constant power, and what I mean by that is it needs to be powered 24/7. That way the dash cam can record constantly. Okay, so looking online, this is a fuse box diagram of the passenger compartment fuse box for a 2015 to 2018 Ford F150. So, as you can see here, this is basically what I just showed you on the video, just turned sideways. So each one of these actually on the fuse box has a number next to it, so it should tell you which fuse is what number. Additionally, if we scroll down on this, it'll tell me what each fuse number is, how many amperage rating there is, and a description of what that is. So after a quick search online, I've discovered that fuse number 36 should have constant power 24/7. So that's fuse 36, 15 amp, and this currently powers the 360 camera module, heated steering wheel module, rear view mirror, rear heated seats, lane departure, automatic high beams, and image processing module. So we're going to go ahead and tap off of this one. Alright, so here we are again. Like I said, each fuse has a number next to it. So we're going to be pulling out fuse number 36. So you should have a fuse puller tool down here, but I'm not seeing one, so I'm not sure if that went missing or not, but it is not down here. So what I did instead, I basically took some needle nose pliers and pulled out the number 36 fuse, which is a 15 amp. So that's what that looks like. Just got to be real careful if you're using needle nose pliers. So there it is. The great thing about this kit is it also comes with 3 different size fuse taps. So what we're going to be using is the smallest one. Since we've got a small 15 amp, we're going to use this small one here, and then we're going to go ahead and put the fuse into the little slot here. So we're going to take our hard wire from the battery for the BlackVue battery that we're going to be including in this, and as you can see, there's 2 sides here. One side is for a ground and the other is for a power, and then the opposing end plugs into the battery itself. So what we need to do is put this wire inside of this crimp and then squeeze it together. All right, so now we've got our wire crimped together just like that, not going anywhere, nice and tight. Now we can reinstall our fuse back into the 36 slot. Also, on your fuse tap, make sure you put a 20 amp fuse and make sure it's on the furthest slot away from the prongs. So in this situation, we've got a 20 on the outside and a 15 on the inside. All right, so we've got our fuse plugged back in. You guys can see that. Back into the 36 slot. Additionally, there is a screw back here, or a nut rather, that has a ground already existing. So we're going to actually use that same ground. I've already taken the nut off. It's a 13 millimeter. So we're going to use that same ground and plug our new ground wire into that. So I ended up just pulling this little trim piece off just to show you guys what I was talking about. So this is the ground that was already existing. As you can see, I've already put our new wire on there. So, and again, this is where the new wire from the front dash cam is coming down. You can see that coming down. This is the one we did behind the trim here. So this is the ground for the new battery. And here is our tapped fuse. And again, hopefully you guys can see the numbers. They're all numbered. Each fuse is numbered. So number 36 is what we're going with. I think that's a constant, so that should be good to go. So I can put all these panels back on, but just wanted to show you guys that. All right, so as you can see, we've got a lot of extra slack here, but I went ahead and brought our BlackVue battery over here. So we need to figure out where to put this exactly. And I'm gonna go ahead and put these connections onto here and then figure out where to put it. So this again is from the front dash cam. So this will go into the dash cam slot here. It only goes in one direction. It should clip into place. Just like that. And then the other wire here, this is for the DC in on the battery that we just ran down and did a ground for. The same thing, this thing only goes in one direction as well. There we go, so now it's all plugged in, and we've already switched this little switch over where it says cigarette off or hardwire. We went ahead and did hardwire, so we flip that over. So you want to have good access to this giant battery pack just in case you want to add some expansion packs or access the USB, so keep that in mind when tucking this away. Okay, just to show you guys where I'm at here, it might be easier if you guys actually take this panel off just to see kind of what you're doing and just for wire maintenance, but you don't have to. Obviously, since I took mine off to show you guys this, it was just made my life a little bit easier. So as you can see, I've got a lot of extra slack here, and all I did was I zip tied it, cleaned it all up, made it look nice, tucked all my wires back here out of the way. And as you can see, it runs up here, and I want to have access, again, I want to have access to the battery. Okay, so I put the battery here in the glove box, and I've got my wires all plugged in, and they just kind of run alongside the back of the glove box. It closes up nicely, doesn't cinch any of the wires or anything, and it pops out down here behind all of this. So everything will be covered up, and you won't see any of it. Also, if you happen to take this little trim piece off, just note on the back how this is oriented and how it needs to go back on. So there's a couple metal clips. There's one here, here, and here. So if you look down here, there's the top one, top two, and then down here you need to get this one in here as well. Okay, pretty simple to put back in. Just line up your holes and put it in place, and then this one, you just pound it back down again. Finally, we can reinstall our fuse box cover. All right, so everything should be installed at this point. We can go ahead and give it a test and install our mobile app. Okay, so one additional piece of information on your battery pack. If you decide to get one, you'll actually have a couple LEDs here. So there's a green, a red, and a blue. So the red light is indicates charging of the battery. The green means that it's fully charged, and blue is Bluetooth on. And so there's also a list of what those LEDs mean, and they also have little beeps as well. So just in case, if you want to look at this diagram, that's what they mean. All right, so at this point, everything should be installed, and we can actually go download the BlackVue app on Google Play Store or the Apple app store. So it does do both Android and iOS systems. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. So search for BlackVue. So I'm going to go ahead and download. So there's actually going to be two apps that we can download. One is the BlackVue app, which is for the actual dash cam. And then there's also a BlackVue battery app, which is for the battery. So we can actually monitor that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and download both. All right, so I went in here and turned this on accessory, and immediately the dash cam said that it was restarting. It was scanning the SD card, and now it's basically restarting itself.
You're safe driving.
So as you can see,
normal recording.
As you can see, it's now starting its normal recording. We've got power and everything. It's talking to me, so that's a good sign. We're gonna move back to the app and get onto that. Okay, so at this point, we're gonna start with the battery first. We're gonna make sure that we're connected. So go ahead and open your BlackVue battery app. And mine automatically popped up, but if yours does not, make sure you hit the scan button and then it should look for it. So this number should match what's on the back of the battery itself. So go ahead and select that. All right, so on BlackVue Battery Manager, you can see our current percentage. It tells you if you have any low voltage warnings. The car's not actually on at this point. It does tell us the temperature of the battery, and as well as a couple other things, battery capacity, things like that. Charging time remaining, 40 minutes, usage time, etc.
Parking mode on.
So now if you click up here in the settings over here, there's a couple different things. One of them is override parking mode timeout function. So this setting only applies to newer luxury vehicles, in particular BMWs that have an inbuilt dash cam that limits the time in parking mode. So we can actually turn the setting off if we're using an aftermarket dash cam, such as the BlackVue dash cam. So we're going to leave that off. The beep function on off for alerts, and then battery capacity. We can set the total available battery capacity. So we'll have to look at our recommended settings in the book. All right, so the battery capacity settings here, this is based on the number of battery packs that you have. So it looks like we can have up to 5 different packs. So 1 plus additional expansion batteries. So we only have the 1 for now, so it will be 6,000. And that's what we're set at. So go ahead and save it. We should be good to go there. An additional piece of information here, since this does tell us that we're currently at 1% battery and it's currently charging, the great thing is while you are driving, it will actually continue to charge for you. So as we continue to drive the vehicle, this should actually fully charge at some point, but currently it says there's 40 minutes of charging time remaining. So just wanted to point that out. Okay, so that's pretty much all that the battery app tells us. So we're gonna go ahead and open BlackVue, the BlackVue app. And then what we need to do now is make sure that your Bluetooth settings are on, which mine are. And then we're gonna go ahead and select BlackVue Wi-Fi. So it says on here, connect to BlackVue Wi-Fi. So we need to go to the phone Wi-Fi settings and turn it on. And then click on the BlackVue network. If you actually take off your dash cam, your front dash cam, on the back side, it should actually have your serial number and the password for the Wi-Fi. So just note that before you go any further. All right, so as you can see, I took mine off the mount here just so I can expose the password. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit the button on the back side here. It'll tell me that the Wi-Fi is on.
Wi-Fi on.
So once the Wi-Fi is on, we can actually move down and actually connect it on the phone. So it should pop up here in our list. So there it is there, BlackVue 900S. Go ahead and click on that. And again, the password is listed on your device on the actual front dash cam. Once you've got that on, go ahead and hit join. There we go, we've got it connected now. So now we can go back into the actual app, hit Wi-Fi, and now we've got all of our camera footage thus far, both front and rear. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and select the video that you want to view. Click on this one, It'll actually tell you here, select video streaming playback quality. So you've got original, or you can do a quick play, which is a lower resolution and it loads a little bit faster. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on original because I want to see what that looks like in 4K.
Just so I can expose the password. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the button on the back side here.
So there you go. You can hear me talking. And the quality is really, really nice in person. Also, there's a microphone on the camera itself, so it does pick that up on the inside. And notice that if you do flip your phone sideways, it will change for you as well. So I won't go into too much crazy detail here, but there are a ton of different settings and things you can change within the app here. So as you can see, there's a couple different things up here. I'm not sure what N means still. E means event, P is parking, M is for motion. So if you want to look at specific categories, you could do that. There's also, if you click on the settings here, there are firmware settings, firmware upgrades, there's camera settings. Additionally, you can select certain ones to go to internal memory, and those will be stored on your internal memory. So if you want to pull that stuff later, you can. If you click over here, there's some additional things you can do. You can create an account with BlackVue. There's app settings, firmware downloads, news, paid ad features, etc., etc. So we'll go back in here. Actually, if you go back here, you can see there's a cloud. You can actually dump your files into the BlackVue cloud. That way you can save some of your internal memory. Again, we've got the battery. Let's see what we're at here now. As you can see on our battery, the car isn't actually on, but I've had it on accessory, so it still says it's low voltage, but we've moved up to 5% now just in the last few minutes of playing around on the app. But just wanted to show you guys that progress. So moving back to the Wi-Fi, again, you can tell which ones are, which videos here are in the front camera. There's actually a little arrow here. It's also indicated in the file name. So that way when you pull the files off, you can actually look. It should have the date and the time and the file number and whether it's the front or the back camera. So the camera's here, or the picture here. So the picture here correlates to which camera it is. Here's one for the rear, just so you guys can see what that footage looks like. Pretty clear camera. And we obviously didn't set these up down here, but you can actually put your miles per hour on here or kilometers per hour, your date and time stamps as well. And then if you want to look at what's happening in the front camera simultaneously, you can switch to the front. And this is the same thing that's happening during that time period. Pretty cool stuff. This is a really, really intuitive app, and the 4K video footage looks really, really amazing. Alright guys, so I won't go into too much detail about what all of the settings and everything are. If you guys have any questions about any features or the install itself, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, this one's a wrap. Again, 2015 Ford F150. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, let me know. Otherwise, we will see you guys in the next video. Take advantage of the discount code that's in the description below if you want to purchase one of these. We'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Thanks for watching.